Type. Yep. Good morning. All right, playoff reveal show will be coming on here in just a few minutes on ESPN. If you guys want to watch along at home, I will update the top 25 down here after they put it out. But how's everybody doing? Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll fire up the call-in show after the playoff rankings show and talk some college football, but we'll just hang out and watch these rankings here for the first hour or so, however long it takes them to do it. But how y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the show. Good to see y'all in here. Agent Z, thank you, buddy. Appreciate the super chat. He says, good morning, Lou. Excited for the rankings. Hope you are too. How long are you going to be streaming tonight? We usually do the call-in show for a couple hours, so I guess it depends how long the ranking show takes. We'll do the ranking show, and then we'll do the call-in show for a couple hours. Unfortunately, I'm going out tonight with my niece. Yeah, it's ridiculous that they're doing this on Halloween. I mean, people that have kids young enough to go trick-or-treating or whatever, it's stupid to do it. I remember 4 or 5 years ago when my kids were still young enough to go trick-or-treating, they had this show on Halloween night, and it's just aggravating. There's no reason for them to do it on they don't have to do it Tuesday night. They could have done it last night. They could have done it Sunday. They could do it tomorrow night. It doesn't make any sense to do it on Halloween. West Virginia ranked number 1 in what? Because I know you're not talking about football. Either UJ or Michigan should be number 1. Based on what? That sounds like you just think they're the best teams. Neither Georgia or Michigan, either one's going to be number 1. Probably Ohio State, number 1. They've got the best. They're undefeated. They've got the best wins of any team. I'd have Florida State too, but they might have Georgia or Michigan too. But I think they're going to have Ohio State 1. I think they should have Florida State too. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think Georgia will be at 5. I do think Georgia will be in the top 4, but I don't think they'll be number 1. By Insanity, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, 1998 forever. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. All right, the ranking show is coming on now. I'm assuming they're going to do this like they've done in years past. So they'll talk for 10 minutes for no reason. And then they usually release the rankings like 5 teams at a time, starting with number 25. So I don't know how long it's going to take total for them to get through the rankings. Probably 30 minutes or so would be my guess. Adam Aronson says, are you eating gator, Lou? No. Fried chicken from Bojangles. It's pretty good, too. Pretty good. This could be Michigan's first time being number 1 in any week since 1997. I don't think they're going to be number 1. I don't think Michigan's going to be number 1. Oh, fuck Mod's Pizza. Not eating that shit. Brandon Wyatt, thank you for the super chat. He said, I had a bowl with a sign out for Halloween, but Jim Harbaugh stole it. What, just the sign he stole, right? He left the candy there. I'm sure he just stole the sign. Put an asterisk next to Michigan. Well, I'm just not ranking Michigan any higher than 5th. That's what I'm doing. I don't care what happens on the football field. Michigan's not getting any higher than 5 in my ranking. I've had Michigan at number 1 for about 5 weeks in a row, but I just can't keep them there with this cheating shit. So I dropped them down to 5, and I'm not moving them any higher than that no matter what. I don't live in or around Atlanta, so I'm not sure who you're talking to there. Some people think the FBI on Michigan's campus is a nothing burger. The FBI is there for something different. It has nothing to do with the cheating, with the football cheating scandal. Some reports say Michigan could be held out this year. Yeah, I don't think. All right, here come the rankings. Air Force 25. Tulane 24, Kansas State 23, Oklahoma State 22, Kansas 21. So let's see, Air Force, Tulane, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Kansas. Sorry, I gotta update this as it goes, so when they get done, I can put it all up on the screen. Southern Cal is 20. UCLA is 19. Utah is 18. Tennessee 17. Shout out to the Hill Jacks. And Oregon State is 16. Southern Cal 20, UCLA 19, Utah 18, Tennessee 17, Oregon State 16. All of those teams have 2 losses. Southern Cal 7-2, the rest of them are 6-2. Number 15, Notre Dame. They played the Taters this week. Number 14, LSU. Number 13, Louisville with 1 loss. Missouri all the way up at number 12, but only for 1 week. They will drop next week. Don't worry. They will drop next week. Don't worry. All right, Notre Dame 15, LSU 14, Louisville 13, Missouri 12, Penn State 11. So that's your 25 through 11. Your top 10 coming up soon. Top 10 coming up soon. What do you think about Stallion getting caught on the Central Michigan sideline? If that's him, I mean, look, I don't need any more evidence. I've seen enough, so I don't care if it's him or not. I've seen enough. But if it is him, that's hilarious. Ole Miss is number 10. Ole Miss comes in at 10 in the first playoff ranking. They're dropping in 2 weeks. Missouri will drop next week when Georgia beats them. Ole Miss will drop in 2 weeks when Georgia beats them. Oklahoma is at 9. Ole Miss 10, Oklahoma 9, each with a loss. Eight is Alabama. Seven will probably be Texas. Ole Miss 10, Oklahoma 9, Alabama 8. All three of those teams are 7-1. Waiting on number 7 now. Texas is number 7. Number 6 will probably be Oregon. Ole Miss 10, Oklahoma 9, Alabama 8, Texas 7. I'll update all this on the screen after they get done revealing all the teams. But I'm sure it's going to be Oregon at 6. That'll make them the highest ranked one-loss team. There's a lot of parity this year between the top teams. Not much of a gap, says Nick DTV. I think Georgia and Michigan are the two best teams. I think Georgia and Michigan are the two best teams. My fiance wants to know when Texas plays next. This Saturday, they host Kansas State. Texas plays Kansas State this Saturday. OU lost to an unranked team. I know Kansas is good this year, but they were still unranked at the time. It doesn't matter what they were ranked at the time. It only matters what they're ranked now to the playoff committee. The playoff committee bases their rankings off what you did against teams they have ranked at that particular time. So if Kansas loses 3 more games, then Oklahoma's loss to Kansas will look continually worse to the playoff committee. But the playoff committee doesn't care whether or not the AP or the coaches poll had Kansas ranked last week. Just like Miami Hurricanes don't get credit for beating a top 10 team just because they beat Texas A&M 2 months ago when Texas A&M was ranked or whatever. It only matters what the playoff committee has you ranked today in terms of what the playoff, as far as what the playoff committee uses to rank teams. No, I don't think Georgia and Michigan are going to be ranked 1 and 2 in this ranking. I just think Georgia and Michigan are the two best teams. Jalen Mildew for Heisman? What year are you talking about? Not this year. Who is JMU? James Madison. James Madison. All right, here we go with the top 6. Oregon at 6. They're 7-1. Their only loss, of course, on the road at Washington. A close loss that in a game really they should have won. Coaching really cost them there. And I still think Oregon is a better team than Washington, even though Washington beat them. Washington will probably be 5. Yep, Washington is 5. So we are into the top 4 now. Oregon was 6, Washington 5, Texas 7, Alabama 8, Oklahoma 9, Ole Miss 10. That's your top 10 so far. We're just waiting on the top 4 now. Florida State at 4. If you know a Florida State man, give them a hug. They're going to be big man. They're going to be big man. Florida State. Florida State at 4. Florida State fans are going to need a whole box of Kleenex. Florida State 4, Washington 5, Oregon 6. Just waiting on the top 3 now. Committee says ACC no good. Well, the ACC isn't any good. The ACC is terrible. Try to figure out who the 3rd and 4th best teams in the ACC are. Georgia Tech is what, 3rd place in the ACC? Wow. Michigan is 3rd. Michigan is 3rd. I guess Georgia will be 2. Yep. Georgia at 2. Ohio State at 1. There you go. All right. All right, let me get this up on the screen for you. Let me get this up on the screen for you, and then we'll talk about it. Save. Download. Yes. Get out of there. All right. Where's the droids I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, right there. All right, there you go. So that's my ranking on the top and the official playoff ranking on the bottom. So 1 through 5, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Washington. Those are your 5 major undefeated teams. Oregon at 6 is the highest ranked one-loss team, followed by Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. Penn State comes in at 11, Missouri at 12, Louisville 13, LSU 14, Notre Dame 15, Oregon State at 16, Tennessee at 17, Utah 18, UCLA and Southern Cal round out the top 20. Kansas at 21, Oklahoma State at 22, Kansas State at 23, Tulane 24, and Air Force 25. There you go. The first college football playoff ranking. And before anybody goes getting too upset or too happy, Ohio State man, just remember that Tennessee was ranked number 1 last year in the first playoff ranking, and it didn't work out well. So there you go. What do y'all think? What did they get wrong? What'd y'all get wrong? What did they mess up on? Ohio State at 1 is a joke. These people don't watch these teams play. Well, they've got 3 of the best wins. I mean, they've got wins over Notre Dame, Penn State, and Wisconsin. Those are 3 pretty good wins. I don't know that anybody else has 3 wins that are that good. I think if you're just looking for best wins, they're undefeated, and they've got the best wins of the 5 undefeated teams. So I'm not surprised Ohio State is at 1. As long as my dogs are in the top 4 in the final spot, says Johnny Bolton. Yeah, these rankings really don't mean much of anything right now. I mean, if these teams win their games, they're going to get in. If they don't, they're not. It's really that simple. I don't know why, but Louisville feels wonky. Yeah, they got Louisville at 13. Louisville's probably headed to the ACC championship game. It's probably going to be Louisville and Florida State in the ACC championship game. Why is Ohio State 1? They're undefeated, and they have 3 good wins. They have 3 wins. Their best 3 wins are better than anybody else's best 3 wins. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. When Michigan beats Ohio State by 4 touchdowns, everyone will learn how big of a joke Ohio State at number 1 is, says blank name. Air Force in the Mountain West, that's why. Ask Tennessee how much these rankings matter in November. Yeah, not much. I think Georgia looks more complete than Ohio State overall. Well, you think that. Yeah, but they try to use as little opinion as possible. So if you just talk about the facts, Ohio State and Georgia are both, 8-0? Ohio State has 3 wins that are better than any win Georgia has. So that's it. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that Ohio State is ranked 1. The SEC is going to dominate again anyway, says Above Average Joe. Bama will be in the top 4 when it's all said and done. Yeah, y'all said that last year, too. Bama ought not be worrying about this ranking and ought to be worried about playing LSU this weekend. Go ahead and make an Ohio State number 1 for 1 week t-shirt. They're not going to lose this week. They play at Rutgers, though, don't they? Ohio State plays at Rutgers this week. Could be a good game. Yeah, it doesn't matter who Georgia has coming up, though. It only matters who they've played so far in terms of where they're ranked now. So Georgia's strength of schedule will increase over the next 3 games. Lou, do the Cardinals get into playoffs if they win out and beat Florida State? You're asking if a 13-0 Power 5 conference champion will get in? Yeah, they will. Or 13-1? Yes, they will. Unless there's 4 other 1-loss champions. They'll get in over any 2-loss team or any 1-loss team that doesn't have a conference title. Bama haters keep telling us Bama is losing every week. I'd still have Georgia at 1. Winning 25 in a row is incredibly difficult to do. That's true, but has absolutely nothing to do with a college football playoff ranking. It doesn't matter what Georgia did last year or the year before. That doesn't have anything to do with this season or where the playoff committee ranks teams. Georgia's not 25-0, they're 8-0. Why is Alabama ahead of OU? I didn't listen to what the playoff committee people said, but I'm guessing it's because Oklahoma's loss is worse than Alabama's loss. But those are probably the 3 hardest spots to rank. Where is that at? 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, and 9 are probably the 3 hardest spots to rank. 7, 8, and 9. These rankings mean shit as long as we keep winning. Yeah, anybody in the top 10 that wins out, actually anybody in the top 10 that wins out is making the playoffs. So that's all you got to do is win your games. Now, Alabama man doesn't understand that, but it's literally that simple. All you got to do is win your games and you'll get in. You're going to DoorDash me some mod pizza? It's going to sit outside my door. It's not coming in here. Where's Colorado ranked? I didn't see them on the list, man. LSU winning this weekend is the first step to no SEC teams in the playoffs, says Kevin Paul. Yeah, there is a possibility that could happen. If LSU wins out and beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, it's possible that the SEC gets left out. It depends what happens in all the other conferences, but that is a possibility. Of course, that's a possibility every single year, and it's never happened. So, Colorado is ranked somewhere in the same region as their recruiting rankings, so about 70th. About 70th there. At least one undefeated team will lose an unexpected game. It always seems to happen that way. Yeah, it happened last week. Oklahoma lost to Kansas. And look, Texas, I don't know about, undefeated teams. Oregon plays Rutgers. Ohio State plays Rutgers. Florida State. Who does Florida State play this week? Some terrible team because it's the ACC. There aren't any good teams in the ACC. Georgia plays Missouri. Washington plays... Who does Washington play? Washington plays Southern Cal? I think Washington plays Southern Cal. And Michigan plays whatever can of pinto beans they're playing this week. So Georgia and Washington both playing ranked teams this week. Georgia at home. Washington, I think, is on the road. Washington plays at Southern Cal, I believe. Georgia plays at home against Missouri. Well, no, Southern Cal ain't ranked, are they? Oh, yeah, they are. They're 20th. Okay. Southern Cal. Is that right? They've got the playoff committee has Southern Cal at 20? What are they doing? I can't believe they've got Southern Cal ranked. Is Missouri good? I've not caught one of their games this year. They've got a really good offense. Well, they've got a good passing game. They've got one elite, I'm talking top 2 or 3 in all of college football wide receiver in Luther Burton. They got a couple other wide receivers that are okay. They don't run the ball all that well, but they've got a really good passing game, and their defense isn't great either. So as of now, Lou, we get to see Georgia humiliate Michigan again. Well, if the playoffs started tomorrow, yes, but they don't. So who knows? Michigan won't be allowed in the playoff. Who's gonna keep them out? I don't think anybody's gonna do anything to them. It takes the NCAA 2 or 3 years to do an investigation, and it'll be too late by then. And I don't think the Big Ten has the balls to do anything. Now, I think they should be held out, but I don't think they will. Too much money on the line to keep Michigan out. Well, keeping Michigan out would put Ohio State in. So either way, the Big Ten gets paid. Yeah. That caller that said Georgia and Missouri were rivals, yeah. He's still around. He comes around all the time. That was a terrible. He's a good guy. That just was a terrible take he had. In the 12-team playoff, do 1 through 4 get a bye? Yeah. 1 through 4 get a bye, and they have to be conference champions. You can't be ranked 1 through 4 if you're not a conference champion in the 12-team playoff. Yeah, the NCAA doesn't have time to do anything. The Big Ten Conference is the only one that could do anything, but they're not going to do anything. Or the playoff committee could just say we're not voting for Michigan. But the playoff committee is not going to do it, and I don't think the Big Ten Conference is going to do it either. So I think if Michigan wins, they'll be in. Michigan should get a bowl ban. They will 3 years from now when the NCAA finishes the investigation. College Football Playoff Committee can't keep Michigan out. It's against the rules. They can vote Michigan anywhere they want. They can vote Michigan at 5 in every single ranking if they want to. There's no rule that says they have to vote a team a certain place. They can vote Michigan wherever they want. If they vote Michigan at 5, then Michigan's not getting into playoffs, no matter how mad it makes you. I don't think they're going to do that, but they could 100% do that. Are they about to announce the playoff rankings? No, they did that 20 minutes ago. It's on the screen where it says playoff top 25. Hard to see Georgia blowing out Mizzou. How many points do you think a blowout is? Because Georgia's winning by more than 20. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know what you consider a blowout to be, but the spread is what, 17, 16? What's the spread on the Georgia-Missouri game? 15, 16, 17? Georgia will win by 20 or more. Yes, the playoff committee can vote any team anywhere they want. BCS format should come back with the mixture of the college football playoff with AI. What? Let artificial intelligence pick the playoff teams? Why? So you can cry about that too? 21 is a blowout? Okay, well then yeah, they're getting blown out. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Harbaugh leaves for the NFL after this year either. Mizzou is not getting blown out. Okay. A lot of carnage will take place this weekend, says Jarvis. Yeah, either, Bama and LSU are playing, Georgia and Mizzou are playing, Washington and Southern Cal, Texas and Kansas State, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. There's going to be a lot of hurt feelings this weekend. I'm just glad my team's still undefeated. That way, if they lose a game, it doesn't matter. All you one-loss dummies are hanging on by a thread. Not me. Georgia still has their mulligan in the back pocket. They're not going to need it this weekend, but they might need it at some point, though. They might lose a game, Georgia. They got 3 tough games in a row, Missouri, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia loses one of them. Won't matter, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose one of them. Lot Michigan haters. So if somebody thinks Michigan cheated, they're just a Michigan hater. Is that what you're saying, Tice? Michigan cheated, man. Cry about it. Did I hate Michigan when I had them ranked number 1 for 6 weeks straight this season? Did I hate them then, or I just hate them now because I think they cheated? Which is it? Which is it? Michigan cheated, man. Get over it. Nothing's gonna happen, so there ain't no point in you crying about it. But they cheated. Y'all got a tough stretch coming up, Lou. I think Ole Miss is the toughest of the 3, but y'all should get it done. Bama, LSU is going to be nuts. RTR. Yeah, it's going to be lots of great games this weekend. Lots of great games this weekend. Georgia's the most complete team in the country. WTF are y'all watching? Hell, I'm a Bama fan, and I can see that. I think Oregon is a really good team, too. Really good. I don't think Oregon's losing again, including in the Pac-12 title game. I think Oregon's getting in. I think Oregon's getting in. I think the winner of Ohio State, Michigan is getting in. And I think Georgia's getting in. That leaves one spot between the ACC and the Big 12. I expected more from Oregon in the first game with Washington, but they should have won that game. It was a great game, and they should have won it. A couple of bad coaching decisions cost them that one, but I think they'll win the rematch. I think Big 12 gets let out completely. Well, we'll see what happens this weekend. If Texas and Oklahoma lose this weekend, the Big 12's in trouble, and Texas and Oklahoma could lose. Texas is hosting Kansas State. Kansas State's the hottest team in the Big 12 right now. And they've only got one loss. You know, there's 5 teams in the Big 12 that only have one conference loss. Texas and Kansas State are 2 of them. So whoever wins Texas Kansas State game, probably going to the Big 12 title game, and whoever wins Oklahoma State, probably going to the Big 12 title game. But if for some reason Kansas State beats Texas and Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, then that's it. The Big 12 is done. Yeah, Ladd McConkey's an elite wide receiver. Yeah. He's a slot receiver, so he's not getting drafted in the top 10 of the NFL draft or anything like that. I mean, he's 5'5", 140 pounds or whatever he is. I'm exaggerating, but you know, he'll be a wide receiver 3 in the NFL or wide receiver 2, you know, slot receiver. So he's not going to get drafted in the top 10. Those are wide receiver 1s, you know, 6'2", 6'3". But yeah, he's an elite college wide receiver, Ladd McConkey. Lou, imagine Georgia plays great the rest of the season. I don't see them losing, but Alabama got me a little worried. I'm not worried about Alabama. I'd rather play Alabama than LSU as far as chances for Georgia to win in the SEC championship game. No, I just put a sign up that says go away. I'm working. You'd rather lose than play LSU? No. What? No, Bama's not that good this year, man. They're just not. Their offense is terrible. They're just not the same Alabama. It just ain't their year. Who's winning the Heisman? Right now, I would say Michael Penix, but if Jaden Daniels has a good game on Saturday, I think he might move to the front of the line. Being Supreme says, instead of saying trick or treat, in Bama they say happy birthday Lou Saban and dress up as NASCAR drivers for Halloween. Bama is way better than you think. Well, if they're good at all, they're better than I think. Daniels is about to carve up Alabama, says Jacques Gaspard. Yeah, I think the LSU Alabama game is gonna be like last year's LSU Tennessee game. Because LSU ain't got no defense. Even Alabama can probably score on LSU. And I think LSU will score too. You bought tickets to Bedlam? I bet those tickets are expensive since this is the last one. There ain't no more Bedlam after this year. This is the last year of Oklahoma State for the foreseeable future. Ladd McConkey is a Bill Belichick wet dream. Yeah, he does look like every leading receiver Tom Brady ever had, doesn't he? Except for that 1 or 2 years when Tom Brady had Randy Moss. Talking about me? I don't watch Bama? Yeah, I've never seen a Bama game, man. You figured it out. You new here? How'd you figure that out so fast, man? Alabama doesn't have a QB that can score 28 on Georgia. Yeah. As a Bama fan, gonna be tough for anyone to beat the fighting Brock Bowers. Yeah. This is why Bama brought in Tommy Reese. What? He brought in Tommy Reese to beat LSU? Tommy Reese. 2 weeks ago, y'all wanted Tommy Reese fired, man. Y'all probably want him fired again before the season's over. I know you'll want him fired again before the season's over. Who do you think Florida hires as an offensive coordinator this offseason? I have no idea, but I do think they'll hire somebody. I think they're going to make Napier hire an offensive coordinator. They're going to give Billy Napier is going to get a Jimbo Fisher treatment. Florida's going to make him hire an offensive coordinator. Can't believe Brock Bowers scored 43 points on Florida. Wasn't that wild? When Brock Bowers blocked that punt, I went absolutely nuts. I couldn't contain myself. I went absolutely crazy when Brock Bowers blocked that punt. All right. We'll open up the phone lines here and see what y'all want to talk about. Lunch money link. No, delete that. Let me set up the phone lines and then we'll take some phone calls. And we'll take some phone calls. All right, let's see here. Turn that on. Turn that on. All right, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, people. All right, there you go. If you want to talk some college football or argue with me or get educated or whatever, click the link. We'll talk some college football. Woo, would I call your family? What do you want me to call them? StreamYard link, win. Right before you typed that. That's when. Crimson King says, my 90-year-old dementia-ridden grandmother could put up points on LSU and she uses a walker and poops in a colostomy bag. That's true. That's true. But nevertheless, you and other Bama fans will be bragging about how good your offense is when you score on LSU, knowing good and well you just told me that literally anybody can score on LSU, which is true. I do think Bama will score on LSU because, like you said, anybody can score on LSU. Especially if Mildew completes a couple of passes, because LSU's secondary is complete garbage. Their front seven is okay, but that secondary is horrendous. Well, it's going to be a split title, Dan. Half the it's going to be, how we used to have split national titles? It's going to be like that again. Brock Bowers and Georgia are each winning the national title. Alex says SCUM, scum. Not Michigan. All right, let's see if y'all want to talk some football or y'all just want to troll all night or what it is y'all want to do. Let's see. Talk football or do y'all want to troll? Football or troll?
Hey, I'll troll a little bit, Lou, because I
Okay.
noticed that Clemson's not anywhere in the top 25, which is surprising to me
Huh.
because everyone knows that Dabo is just losing on purpose for a little while. So why didn't the committee take that into account?
That's a great question. It should be treated the same way as injuries. If your coach has a mental illness, which Dabo does, that should be treated the same way as an injured player. And supposedly the playoff committee takes that into account. So I don't know. Maybe they'll see the error of their ways, and next week they'll have Clemson back in the top 10 where they belong.
Yeah, exactly. But in all seriousness, those comments to Tyler, the concerned Clemson fan, and Dabo Swinney acting like a jackass is par for the course at this point. I mean, how much more do we need to see to know that Dabo is really as big of a crybaby as we trolled him about over the last couple of years? And what I think about is when you compare the last three current coaches to win national championships, being Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, and Dabo Swinney, you look at what they talk about how the fans can help. Okay. And Nick Saban says, hey, don't leave games early. You know, we're out here beating up on people by 40 points, but don't leave games early. That's how fans can help. Kirby Smart says, hey, travel to the games, be loud, support your team, make recruits that we're going after feel part of the community. That's what Kirby Smart says fans can do for the team. Dabo says, lower your expectations. That's what you can do for the team.
Yeah.
And that's fucking disgraceful.
Yeah, I kind of think both people are wrong in this situation. The caller had some good points, but his delivery, I think, was the problem. He did come off as a condescending ass clown. I'm surprised they left him on the phone that long, to be honest, to talk to Dabo that way. But I also think Dabo then went overboard in his response. But I think both of those people embarrassed themselves.
Yeah. Hey, Lou, the Missouri and Georgia game this weekend is really massive because while I agree that Georgia could drop a game and still make the playoffs, I don't know if the Missouri game exactly fits into that category because it's all about controlling your destiny in the East, right?
Yeah, well, what's weird is if Missouri wins, then Georgia fans have to root for Florida and Tennessee.
Yeah, that would be
because that's who Missouri would be playing next. Would be Tennessee and Florida, and we would need Missouri to lose to one of them.
Right. And I'm prepared to cheer in, at face value only for the Hill Jacks and the Gator Man, but Georgia's going to take care of business, no doubt.
Yeah.
I had a whole Florida rant prepared, but I'll leave that for another day.
They're down bad, man. There ain't no need in piling on, man. They're down bad. Florida fans are down so bad they can't see straight.
Yeah, and any delusions that the Florida fan had, I think, quickly evaporated on Saturday. But hey, shout out to Octavian. Your Gators did their best, and we'll forgive you once again for being mistaken about how good you were.
Yeah.
But hey, Lou, love the show, and you have a good morning.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on, man. Good to hear from you. All right, let's keep it moving. How you doing?
Hey, Lou.
What's up, buddy?
Congrats on the dub against my Gators, man. We're not good at all.
That's right. Facts.
But I saw that. I predicted the score. Georgia would win by 15, but I expected that outcome, the blowout, more than us winning the game.
Yeah.
But the Missouri game this week, I honestly see UGA blowing them out too. I mean, I just think, whenever someone says, oh, this team can beat Georgia, Georgia always comes out and plays their best. So I kind of see, especially since it's in Athens, so I can see Georgia beating Mizzou like maybe as much as they did Florida or maybe even more. But, I mean, Mizzou has given Georgia difficulties over the past couple of years, but I don't really see it.
Over the last 1 year.
1 year?
Not before that, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just
well,
1 year.
Apparently to that Georgia fan, this is the biggest rivalry of the year for you guys.
Well, he's out of his mind. He's a good guy. I like that guy. He's been around a long time. He's still around, but on that, he's out of his mind. So.
And Lou,
a little
bit college football talk here, but
shit.
Go
Go ahead.
The nerds of Georgia Tech. I think they're gonna. I think they have a really good shot. I think they have a really good shot of making a bowl game this year. Now, after that North Carolina win,
maybe we might be getting a little carried away with that, but maybe they could make a bowl game. Yeah.
Well, they play Virginia next week. They'll probably be favored in that game. I'm guessing. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
they're like
Virginia
no, it's at Georgia Tech, and I think they're like a 2 or a 3 point favorite.
Yeah, and then they play Clemson, and since Dabo's losing on purpose, I that would get them to the bowl win if they beat Virginia.
Yeah,
and then Syracuse is a game they could win too. So, I mean, if they win out, they'll be 7-5. So, I mean,
if they win out,
yeah.
But this is Georgia Tech we're talking about.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou, thank you for having me on.
All right, buddy. Good to hear from you, man. Appreciate you coming on. Better luck next year, I guess, for you Gators. But, God, next year is going to be worse for Florida than this year. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say to the Florida, man. They're bad. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yo, what's up, Lou?
Hey, what's up,
It's been
buddy?
a minute.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm here to not troll, but talk football. I kind of want to say some stuff about Syracuse since I haven't been on in a bit.
Okay.
That Florida State loss was just terrible. 41-3, worse than last year. I thought it was going to be a little bit better, but you know how it went. That Virginia Tech game, that was an embarrassment, and that should immediately be a wake-up call to all Syracuse fans at this point, because Dino Babers, at this point, I don't know how he still has his job. He should have been fired after that game, like midpoint at halftime. I mean, he's like 15 or 14 and 55 in ACC play. I mean, after October, it's just a nightmare for him. He can't win jack shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolute garbage. And to that one dude who was talking about the Georgia Tech and Syracuse game, I wouldn't blame Georgia Tech if they won. I think they can win it, but I don't know. Schrader's just been off his game. After that Clemson game, he was just garbage. With Aronde Gatson injured at like the West Virginia game, or I think the Colgate game, that really set us back badly. We're on a benched tight end. He's all right, but I wouldn't think he's a good starter. And I don't know. I think we might lose out the rest of the season. Boston College is up next this Friday. I'm going to that game. And I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. But Wake Forest is the last game, too. And playing Pitt in New York City. Wake Forest being at home in Syracuse. I think we might just lose out, if I'm being completely honest. I'm losing them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's not good. But if you had to choose the last 4 games, which is more likely for Syracuse to win out of the 4?
You have to tell me what they are.
Boston College, Pitt, Georgia Tech, and Wake Forest.
Pitt's not winning another game. The players hate the coach hate the players, the fans hate both. So, Pitt.
Yeah, but one last thing before I go. I think Air Force should definitely be ranked a little higher, but they've been playing cupcakes this entire season. But, I mean, if teams keep losing ahead of them, they could probably go ahead. But also, one more last thing, I swear.
This is the last thing, though.
Last thing, I promise.
This is the third last thing.
Please flip over the Syracuse helmet upside down. Just, that's it. But, that's my last thing.
Okay. Thank you for the call, Fruit Man. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou, what's up, man? It's Nick. How you doing, bro?
Hey, Nick. I'm good, buddy.
Lou, man, I'm actually in Melbourne, Florida right now, man. I'm actually on vacation. I'm not even in Arkansas right now. But our dogs dominated. I wasn't surprised. Octavian, you can choke on it, dude. all that garbage we from like Florida, man. Didn't work. Beat that ass like we always fucking do.
Yeah.
Good luck next year, buddy. But you're probably not gonna win. Bill Napiers gonna get fired next year, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've done figured out that bad coaching and terrible players is not a good combination.
No.
And that's what Florida has right now.
Well, look, man, what about Brock Bowers, man? He dominated, didn't he?
Man, Brock Bowers went absolutely ham in that game. Florida just had no answer for him. Block, punt. Did you see? Hell, he threw for 300 and something. He threw for almost 300 yards.
Yeah,
yards.
315 yards.
Yeah. He almost had. He had like 90 something yards. He had almost 100 yards rushing. It was great. He played really. He had 4 sacks in the first half.
Oh yeah, he did.
Brock Bowers did.
How many? But Lou, man, I'm not worried about it. I'm not surprised by the rankings. It's gonna play itself out one way or another.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. We're gonna beat Missouri. We're gonna beat Ole Miss. And here's I have one issue with the ranking. Why is USC ranked?
Yeah, I can't figure that out either. Southern Cal should not be ranked. If Southern Cal is ranked, where's North Carolina then?
Yeah.
I mean, put them in there too. I mean, Southern Cal, they have a quarterback. What else do they have?
They have Caleb Williams. That's it. That's the only one.
I mean, yeah, they shouldn't be ranked. They should not be ranked. I agree.
I mean, their defense is literally like a preschool defense.
They're
like
20th at that. What the hell? What? I mean, what is that? I don't make no sense to me. I'm not going to spend a lot of time complaining about teams that are ranked 20th, though, because the only point of the playoff ranking is for playoffs, and so, as long as it's not something that's affecting that, I'm not going to get all worked up about it. But, yeah, Southern Cal ranked 20th is too high.
And Ole Miss, I mean, like, they're a good team, but, like, who they beaten? Like, they really haven't, like...
Well, who's Georgia beaten? I mean, there's more to look at than just who is a team beaten. Do you think Michigan's any good?
Yeah.
Of course they are. Who have they beaten?
Nobody.
I mean, you can only play who's on your schedule. I mean,
That is true.
I think Ole Miss is a good team. I don't think they're great, but I think they're good. I think Mizzou is good. I don't think they're great. But there's more to look at than just who have they played. I mean, Alabama's running around talking about, look who we've played, and they've got losses. Should they be ranked ahead of Michigan?
No.
No. Got to win your games. That's more important. Winning your games is more important than losing to Texas. I mean, I don't understand what the Alabama, these Alabama fans, man, they're fucking brain dead. Alabama would be 6-6 talking about, but the 6 teams we lost to were all good. Plus, we could beat the number 4 ranked playoff team. Of course you can, dummy. Alabama can beat every team they don't play. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. They can beat every team they don't play.
Stupid, Lou.
I don't understand them. I don't. They're going to do the same thing this year. They're going to do the same thing this year. They're going to have 2 losses. They're going to have 2 losses. They're not going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to spend all offseason talking about how they could have beat whoever the 3 and the 4 team were.
Yeah. But Lou, man, when Dabo went on his rants, I swear when he said Tennessee everyone gave it to
that was the best part of the call.
That was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that was the best part. For y'all, for those of y'all who don't know what he's talking about, if you probably heard about the Dabo Swinney fan phone call from yesterday, but
and he said everyone gave it 20 years.
So Dabo does a fan call-in show, and this fan calls in and basically ripped Dabo a new asshole. He's like, I don't understand why we're paying you $11 million to go 4-4. You hire these people that don't know what they're doing. You won't use the transfer portal. We're tired of losing. Just ripped Dabo up one side and down the other. Dabo hung up on him and then went off on him for like 10 minutes straight. But the funniest thing he said in there, he was like, we've won 10 games or more for 12 years straight. Look at Tennessee. They won 11 games last year for like the first time in 20 years. Would you rather be them? Dabo out here throwing grenades at the Hilljacks for no damn reason. I said, man, look at this. Lee.
All right, go dog, bro.
All right, Nick. Yeah, thanks for the call, buddy. We'll talk to you next time. That shit was hilarious, man. I had to rewind when I was first, because it came out of nowhere. I'm sitting there listening to the phone call, and Dabo's just basically going off on the caller while reciting all of the good stuff he's done at Clemson over the last 12 years or whatever. And then just out of the blue, he's like, hey, look at Clemson. Or no, hey, look at Tennessee. They won 11 games last year for like the first time in 20 years. Would you rather be them? I was like, wait, what? I rewinded, listened to that shit again. I said, yeah, he sure did. Threw the Hilljacks right under the bus. Out here lobbing grenades at Tennessee for no reason. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Good game from the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend.
Oh, you
good
down
game.
bad, man. You are down bad. Wow. 280 yards rushing? Yeah, shit. Did y'all even get to 50?
I don't think we got to 50.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, man. Hey, look, y'all are terrible.
Yeah. All our Georgia fans that was looking for me.
Y'all
I'm
suck,
here.
man.
Oh, yeah, I was here. I'm here. And I'm here to eat my crow. And I'm here to sing this fucking fight song that y'all made bet with. Even though Junkyard didn't send his jersey yet, he's gonna send it soon.
What'd you say? I couldn't
Go. Junkyard is gonna send. He didn't send the jersey yet, but as soon as Junkyard Dog send the jersey, I will be wearing the Georgia jersey.
I know you're a man of your word. I know you'll do it. I know you'll sing that Georgia fight song.
Go Georgia Bulldogs, and man, my soul is broke.
Yeah.
We need a new offensive coordinator. We need a new strength coach.
Yeah.
We too soft.
New players.
We the soft cotton candy, butterfinger eating players.
Yeah.
We flat.
Yeah.
We're lazy.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know, but hopefully we beat Arkansas this week.
Yeah,
beat the sleeves off them. Hopefully beat the sleeves off them. Hopefully.
But that's gonna be y'all's last win, ain't it? Because after that, you got to play LSU, Florida State, and Missouri.
We might beat Florida State. We might be the team to knock them off. That'll be some shit too.
Oh boy, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Listen, and I'm saying this live on air. I will have a serious heart attack and meltdown if Florida State and Georgia play the national championship. If they do, I'll be at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital having a mental breakdown / heart attack.
Listen though, Octavian, I know you hate Georgia and you hate Florida State, and that would be your worst nightmare to have them in a national title game. But I want you to listen to me, okay? SEC.
Yeah.
You'll be on there with the Go Dogs. I already know you will. Yeah, you'll be wearing a Georgia hat and Uncle Lou's shirt. Come on, Go Dogs!
If it comes down to those two, I really don't know. I just can't. I can't do it. I want to see Georgia lose, but then again, you want to see Florida State lose too.
Well, you're going to see Florida State lose for sure at some point. They might make it to the playoffs, but Florida State won't beat any playoff team. I don't care who Florida State plays in the first round; they'll lose.
Maybe I should go to the national championship game between Florida State and Georgia and just run on the field and be the Gator fan and just be in the Gators actually made the championship.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, good game for the Georgia Bulldogs. They beat us up and down the field. They beat us in every aspect of the game. We don't have a special teams coach, and when they blocked that punt, that really broke my soul. That I know who's gonna lose by at least 50 points. I seen it. I started to throw my TV off the wall there, and it took me 2 hours to take to realize that we lost. I still had the TV on the CBS station, man. I was really shell shocked. I didn't know what to say. I just did not know what to say. I was just Billy Napier. If he doesn't get it together by the third game next year, if he loses to Miami, UCF, and Tennessee the first 3 games, he's fired. And then they talk about word on the street that we might be getting Jeff Scott as our offensive coordinator. Like, man, oh my goodness.
Who's that?
The old Clemson offensive coordinator / wide receivers coach.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, but yeah. I'm really down, man. I'm really trying to find my soul here. Hopefully, we get it back this week against Arkansas.
Man, for your sake, I hope y'all win.
And to all you Georgia fans, to hell with y'all, and I hope y'all lose to Georgia Tech.
All right,
Go
Octavian.
Gators and beat Florida.
All right, there you go, everybody. Octavian. I told y'all he wouldn't run and hide. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
What is up with all the Bama fans hating on Georgia?
Well, I don't know what's going on, man. It's weird. The Alabama fans there's something, man. You know, most of them have only been fans for like 8 or 9 years. They don't know what it's like to lose, so they don't handle it well.
Yeah, they're too busy watching NASCAR.
Yeah, they've only been football fans since Saban got there.
Must have been a tragedy when Dale Earnhardt died.
Oh, damn. Come on now. I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Dabo said Ohio State was like ranked 130th in his coaches poll?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say Clemson is now 130th.
And then Ohio State went out and beat them. That was the funniest part.
Yeah, Clemson's now taking that spot. It's Colorado, then Clemson, then everyone else, then Georgia.
Boy, Clemson's down bad. They really are. 4-4. And it's going to get worse. They might not make a bowl game. Hell, they play Notre Dame this week. They're not winning that game, are they?
Yeah, that'll be a freaking rate
They'll
on
have
live TV.
a losing record. They lose to Notre Dame. Dang.
Mm.
Poor
The Tater Man down bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
Well, I'm kind of happy to see Octavian come on at 280 yards rushing. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I told him when he was going off like that. I said, man, look, it's one thing to want your team to win, or even to think Florida can win, but you got to be realistic, man. Florida's not running for 280 yards, and Graham Mertz 19 touchdown passes, and just all this dumb shit he was saying. I don't know. But I let Octavian say whatever he wants because I know he's not going to duck and run. He's going to show back up the next week. So, you know, when Octavian calls in and makes a fool of himself about what Florida's going to do, I don't cut him off. I just let him keep going because, you know, I know he's going to show up to take his medicine the next week.
Yeah. Well, Florida's down pretty bad for Tim
Yeah.
Tebow, football Jesus.
Oh, man.
From.
Steve Spurrier, too. You think Florida will get it turned around in time before Steve Spurrier dies?
No, I don't think so.
If things get any worse in Gainesville, Spurrier's going to be buried in a Gamecock casket.
God.
If Florida gets any worse, he's going to be buried in a Gamecock casket. He's going to say, "Fuck it, put me in a Gamecock casket."
Florida's got a better record than South Carolina.
Well, yeah, well.
They might, the way it's looking, they might end with a better record.
Well, they have a better record this year. They haven't had a better record each of the last 2 years. I mean, South Carolina's been a better team than Florida over the last 3 years combined. So we'll see. But all right, buddy, thanks for the call, man. It was good to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. What a shock. Somebody whose name is Jalen Milroe for Heisman doesn't know how to work StreamYard. They can't unmute themselves. You're muted, jackass. Jesus Christ. Jalen Milroe for Heisman. My God, man. Drool twice if you're okay. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's going on, Uncle Lou?
Hey, buddy.
Man, it's good to be a dog right now.
Yeah, it really is. And yesterday and last year and the year before that. Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, it is, man. And if we play like that, the way we play against Missouri this week and Ole Miss next week, I don't think we should have a problem with Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. Because all you got to do with Tennessee, we figured it out when Kentucky figured it out. They got the formula. Just throw the ball over their head. They can't do shit. That's it. That's the method.
Yeah, I think Tennessee. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you for the call. I think Tennessee is probably the worst of the 3 teams that Georgia has left to play, but might be the most dangerous game because it's on the road. The other 2 they get at home. Georgia's got Missouri and then Ole Miss at home and then Tennessee on the road. And look, I still think Georgia's likely to lose a game. It's just almost impossible to figure out which one it might be. Because Georgia's going to be a significant favorite in all 3 of those games. They're favored by over 2 touchdowns this week against Mizzou. It'll be a similar line next week against Ole Miss, and then probably about the same on the road against Tennessee. But it just feels like one of those teams might catch Georgia. It feels like that to me. So Georgia most likely... I guess Georgia most likely is headed to Atlanta at 12-0, but I kind of feel like they're headed to Atlanta at 11-1. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Georgia wins out, but it does kind of feel like they're going to drop one. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou.
Yeah. Good morning in that, and two also.
All right, so I wanted to make this kind of quick. I just had like one point I wanted to bring up or just ask about, and I
Yeah.
just want your like. You say you see us losing the first round automatic. Like, why do you feel so strongly about us losing in the first round if you got Georgia losing one game in the regular season?
Because that doesn't have anything to do with the postseason. Like losing one game to some random team in the regular season doesn't have anything to do with somebody's postseason predictions.
Because I'm gonna say I don't see Georgia losing another game. I see y'all going all the way to Atlanta 12-0. Like y'all are it, but I don't feel like any of the top four teams are that much better than us.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Georgia, Michigan, and Oregon are clearly the best three teams in the country.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those seasons where we're going to have to just show everybody like Clemson Clemson did their first year.
Yep.
Like Georgia did their first run.
Yep. Well, Georgia's never lost a first round playoff game, so you've lost every playoff game you've ever played in. So, what do you think about that?
I think Florida State's running it this year. I'm gonna be honest with you, Uncle Lou. I
It's
think
not
we got
happening.
it this
Yeah,
year.
you've been watching football, right? Aren't almost all
Yes, I've been watching football.
Okay.
And we've had one bad.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
Clemson.
Hasn't almost every single first round playoff game been a blowout?
And who do you see us getting? I do not see us getting blown out by Michigan, Oregon, or
Michigan.
Georgia.
Well, Michigan said that 2
y'all-
years ago. Michigan said that too. Every team, you said that when you played Oregon in 2014. Every team that gets in the playoffs thinks they're not getting blown out, but every year 2 of them get blown out, or almost every year. Like 80% of the first round playoff games. Yes, it will. Yeah, the teams that will be in the playoffs are all better than you. It's just fact. They're better than you. Sorry, they're better than you. Sorry, you're not winning a first round game. Sorry.
No way. Michigan may no, we're not getting bit. No, I don't see it. We'll see. We'll see, Uncle Lou.
Yep,
love
we will
the show.
see.
Good
All right,
luck,
buddy.
man.
Yep, thanks for coming on. Just my opinion. It's not going to hurt you. It's just my opinion, but I don't think Florida State's winning a first round playoff game no matter who they play. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, how's it going?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, how's it going?
It's going good.
All right. I'm glad that Octavian came on. I was kind of worried that he would not come on to eat his crow. I'm glad that he came on to eat his crow.
Oh, I knew he'd show up. He shows up hell, this ain't the first time Florida's lost a game. He always shows up.
I know, but I mean, it was embarrassing fashion, almost like the Kentucky game.
Yeah.
But I tried to call in the other week whenever, it was last Wednesday, I think it was, last Thursday, I'm sorry. That was when everybody was wanting to go up, but my internet kept on messing up. The kids kept on watching stuff. So
Yeah, kind of like it's doing now. All right. Thank you for the call. That's funny that his internet messed up the second he said that he tried to call in last week but couldn't because his internet messed up. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou. Bama will win a natty 2023. This must be another mouth-breathing retard that can't learn how to talk. You got anything to say, jackass, or you just want to sit in the back room with your tongue hanging out? What are you doing? Why do you sit on hold for 30 minutes and then you get on here and you clench up like an asshole? What's wrong with you? Truly mentally retarded. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Lou. I'm just wondering about.
Well, what are you doing on this show, man? This ain't your cup of tea, man. I'm not gonna call you a retard or a jackass or anything like that, though. Don't worry. How you doing, Will?
Yeah, I know.
Doing all right, buddy? You doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Texas being ranked ahead of Oklahoma, even though Texas beat them on a neutral site? Like
I disagree with
it. To me, I think head-to-head should matter more. But
Yeah, I
want to know what you think.
Yeah, me too. I've got Oklahoma at 7, Texas at 8, Bama at 9. Now, I will admit it's not cut and dry because the loss by Oklahoma is so bad compared to the Texas loss and the Alabama. Like the Texas and Alabama clearly have a better loss than Oklahoma, but because Texas beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma beat Texas, Texas beat Bama, it makes it hard to do. But I agree with you though. I've got it Oklahoma, Texas, Bama.
All right, thanks, Uncle Lou. Just wanted to see your thoughts on that.
Yeah, good luck with the Taters this weekend. Thank you for coming on. That was Notre Dame. Will, you might have seen him over on Mark Rogers' channel from time to time. He's a really good guy. Just kind of surprised he called into. I'm kind of surprised he even watches Uncle Lou. I like Will, but I didn't think I was his cup of tea. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey Lou, how you doing?
What? Hello.
Hey,
Come on in.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So I watched that Dabo Sweeney video you posted today. It's like all over social media.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty split on it. Once I watched it twice, I don't know if Dabo's exactly completely wrong in that situation. I feel like that dude just came out and straight attacked him. What do you think about that?
I think both people are in the wrong. Like, I agree with you. The caller, in my opinion, the caller got what he was looking for. A reaction. Those are the types of callers I expect to call into a show like this, not a coach's show. I mean, he did talk to Dabo like he was a 12-year-old. Why do we pay you this? You make terrible hires. You can't win games. I mean, it was bad. So I don't blame Dabo for getting defensive and feeling the need to defend himself. However, I think Dabo took it too far. He kept repeating the same things over and over. He called the guy a jackass, told him 15 times, I don't care whether you're a fan or not. I think it was a bad look for both of them. Yeah,
I mean, he did get personal with it, but like at the same time, I'd put myself in his shoes and I'd be ready to attack that dude too. I mean, he came on there and was like, well, "You're way overpaid. We don't need to be paying you that."
Now here's the thing. Now, I do think that coaches are fair game for criticism. Like I think it's perfectly fine for someone to call Dabo Swinney's call-in show and ask tough questions or to express their disappointment in the way things are going. And if that's all that caller had done, then that would be different. But he just had a demeaning attitude. It was like he was talking down to Dabo. Like I don't blame Dabo at all for getting defensive. But the reality is you make $10-11 million a year because you won so many games, and now you're not winning. So Dabo, this phone call aside, Dabo has not handled losing well this season. This isn't the first time he's made boneheaded comments. Even if he had a reason to this time because of the caller, he's called Clemson fans bandwagons and says they're never happy and they complain too much. I don't know. In general, I don't like the way Dabo is handling losing, but in this particular situation, I don't blame Dabo for getting defensive and defending himself. I think both the caller and Dabo took it too far.
Right. Well, I just got two more things for you real quick. One, I saw it on Instagram and it was ran through Barstool and a few other people. I don't know how legitimate it is. But have you seen from last year, of course, the Michigan sign stealing thing, how they've recently connected? They've talked about how Michigan was trying to influence the playoffs last year and how that they had connections to South Carolina and have linked sign stealing to the South Carolina DB coach because he played for Jim Harbaugh as the DB, and they were selling didn't sell, but were apparently giving signs to South Carolina for both Tennessee and Clemson. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Do you think that? I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but like at this point, I saw a picture of that dude apparently on the sideline for the Central Michigan.
Yeah, I saw that too. Look, I've been saying for a week.
So
I've seen enough. Michigan cheated. There's nothing is ever going to change my mind at this point. I don't care how mad it makes anybody, Michigan fans or anybody else. I've seen enough. Michigan cheated. They knew Michigan had a plan. They knew what they were doing was wrong. So they did what they thought they needed to do to hide and conceal it from the people they didn't want to know. And they've got caught. And so what ends up happening? Nothing, probably. But I think they were cheating. I've seen enough. All the stuff that just keeps coming out now is just icing on the cake. I don't know if that's that guy on the Central Michigan sideline or not. What I can't figure out is Why can't Central Michigan answer that question immediately? That's
Right.
what makes me think it is him, because it's going to make Central Michigan look either stupid or guilty.
Well, the one thing is also is that I don't know if this is true, but I saw apparently that was a night. That was like a night.
It was a night game, a Friday night game. The game was on Friday night. He's wearing a hat pulled down like this and sunglasses.
Yeah, and sunglasses.
Yeah, I've seen the picture. For those of you that don't know what he's talking about, you know the Michigan scandal. The guy that headed all that up, Scott Scallions or whatever his name is, he's been suspended with pay or whatever. A picture came out today from a Week 1 game. Central Michigan was playing at Michigan State in Week 1. I think it was Week 1. Anyway, it was early in the season. And on the Central Michigan sideline, dressed in Central Michigan coaching attire with a Central Michigan hat on and sunglasses in a night game, is a guy that looks a lot like Scott Scallions or Stallions, whatever his name is. I don't know if it's him or not. They've asked Central Michigan, like, hey, this guy on your sideline, who is that? That was 8-9 hours ago, and Central Michigan is, well, we'll look into it. You know who your coaches and who your support staff are. Somebody on Central Michigan staff can look at that picture and go, oh, that's Steve, or whatever. So the fact that they haven't done that, I mean, it makes you think maybe it is him. Because now Central Michigan's going to have to either admit they're fucking stupid and got tricked and didn't know that a Michigan coach was in disguise on their sideline, or they're going to have to come out and say, well, we knew the guy, so we just let him on the sideline and we dressed him up like he was one of us. Either one of those things is wrong and against rules, NCAA rules. So I don't know, but the whole thing is a mess. The whole thing is a mess, but I've seen enough. Michigan tried to circumvent the rules. They tried to gain an advantage that they knew they weren't supposed to be gaining. They tried to hide it. And as far as whether or not Jim Harbaugh knew, I don't care whether Jim Harbaugh knew or not. If Jim Harbaugh didn't know, then don't punish Jim Harbaugh. But the team should be punished. They should be kept out of the postseason. But they won't. They won't be. They won't be. It'll take the NCAA 2 or 3 years to do whatever investigation they do. Then something will happen. The Big Ten doesn't have the balls to do anything, even though they could. And the Big Ten and the playoff committee is not going to keep Michigan out unless somebody else steps in and does something first. So nothing's going to happen. But to me, I've seen enough. Michigan cheated. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They continued to do it. They tried to hide it. They tried to cover it up. I've seen enough.
But I mean, as crazy as it is, do you think that story with them selling stuff to South Carolina? Because I mean, if you go back and look,
I don't care about. I mean, that's just like I said. That's just another. Coaches call other coaches all the time, so that wouldn't be all that unusual. Now, if they gave South Carolina information they illegally gained, then yeah, that's just another bit of evidence against Michigan. But like, you know, that's like there's nothing on South Carolina for that. Like, you know, Kirby will get a call this week from a bunch of coaches that either have already played Missouri or whatever, and they'll say, hey, Missouri this, Missouri. Coaches do this all the time. Deion Sanders talked about this a month ago in a press conference, and what'd we do? We all said the same thing. Oh my God, I can't believe Deion is acting like this is a big deal. This happens all the time. Coaches call other coaches and give them bits and pieces of information about upcoming opponents. That happens all the time. So if some coach from Michigan called some coach from South Carolina and said, hey, whatever they said, then so be it. Well, who gives a fuck?
Well, no, it was more of like, you know how what they were doing to Ohio State and Penn State, it was the same thing. It was the like video recording Tennessee's play.
No. If you're trying to tell me that Michigan called up South Carolina and said, hey, guess what? We've been going around the country stealing team signs and we've got Tennessee's signs. We stole them. Do you want them? And South Carolina said, yeah. No, I don't believe that for a second.
Okay.
No, Michigan's stupid. They're not that stupid. You think Michigan's just calling up a bunch of teams and telling them that they're cheating? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Thank you for the call. That was silly. No, they called South Carolina and they said, hey, when Tennessee does this, this is what they're doing. And when Tennessee does this, this is what they're doing. They didn't call South Carolina and go, hey, we've been cheating. We sent a bunch of people around. No, they didn't do that. Michigan's dumb. They're not that dumb. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Oh, another brain dead waterhead. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. It's always good to see you. Good morning.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Good morning.
It's been a rough week, and I don't have a lot of rant for today. I have mostly sorrow and self-pity and loathing.
Yeah, Utah down bad too. Eliminated
Yeah,
from everything. No three-peat on the Pac-12 title. Damn.
You say that, but
Well,
the Pac-12 is about the
happening.
Pac-12.
Yeah, well, not
Just
happening,
watch.
so. You're not winning the Pac-12. Come on.
I don't think we are again because we'll end up having to play Oregon. But there's a chance we end up playing Oregon again in the Pac-12 title because the Pac-12 is going to Pac-12.
Yeah, but you're not winning the Pac-12. I'm saying.
Fair enough. I'm with you on
not
that.
happening.
There is a very high likelihood that USC beats Washington this weekend. Like, I truly believe that. Like, that's my upset of the week for sure. But I have a question. So you're part of team top dog, undefeated, big thing. Like, fuck a back-to-back, conference champion. You're back-to-back national champions. Top dog, big thing. I got a question about on the recruiting side, right? Coach Whittingham had to go on to Pat McAfee show and, ride a Harley onto it and arm wrestle him and stuff. And while I enjoy the gimmick, I know that that's not what Coach Whittingham wants to do. No coach wants to be that guy doing that sort of shit. But is that the sort of shit that Utah is going to need to make the next jump up to having a few 5 stars, to having, the players in place to make a run against the most elite sorts of talent, I guess, out there?
Well, either that or hire elite level recruiters. I mean, because there's, I'm trying to think of any teams in the top 5 that do that kind of thing you're talking about, and I can't think of any.
Well, think of a non-blue blood that made
Georgia's
it
not a
into,
blue blood. Georgia's not a blue blood.
You don't think?
No.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Neither is Clemson. Neither is Clemson. They've got
Clemson
some pretty good
isn't.
recruiting classes.
But he's also doing call-in shows where he berates his fans, so that's pretty sweet too. I'd be much more happy about Whittingham doing that. Be like, call in and try and talk shit to Coach Witt. See how that goes. But it's kind of awesome, legit. Like, seeing our coach be 60 something and like be that type of guy, like the way he is outside of it. But there is a large portion of me that's like, that's so gimmicky that I don't like it. But I feel like it's kind of necessary to get anyone to care about our stupid little state. But then again, Alabama, no one really gives a shit about that state, but they got a good program.
Yeah, I mean, look, going on the Pat McAfee show is not a terrible idea. Now, I don't know what you're talking about riding a Harley and that, but like, guess who else goes on the Pat McAfee show every week?
Saban.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not the worst idea in the world.
Yeah, so his entrance was to ride a Harley down the street and basically onto the stage or real close to it. And
Yeah,
then
I don't
he
know
wore
anything
a
about that.
cutoff
If he
like
thinks he's
Pat
the
does.
Undertaker or what the deal is that, I don't know. But.
Yeah, basically Undertaker. But that sort of stuff was, and then to have it be basically a bunch of stuff. And then I also got really sad because I found out Steve Smith Sr. turned down the job offer to be our wide receivers coach. And that's another thing that I was worrying about. Like, recruiting wise, if you're a wide receiver and you have the chance to go learn how to be a wide receiver from someone like Steve Smith Sr., like, that's got to, Deion Sanders it up a little bit as far as getting people to want to go there, doesn't it? And like, I'm trying to figure out this recruiting shit. Help me out, buddy.
What coaching jobs has Steve Smith Sr. held?
I don't give a shit.
Well, that might be part of the problem. Being a good football player doesn't make you a good coach.
That's true.
Coaching for a long time makes you a good coach.
Right.
That's why Deion Sanders. Do you think Deion Sanders is a football coach? I don't. I don't.
Yes, now, because he's been doing it so long.
He's been doing it so long.
Yeah, he took his kid, like you were saying, he's been coaching his kids shit the whole way through. So I think he's, I'd consider him a football coach, but I wouldn't consider him elite coach. But if recruiting's 90% of the job, then he's one of the best coaches in the, well, I guess no, he's not, but transfer portal, he's one of the best coaches in the nation.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I got to I got to figure out how to get Utah to actually recruit some people, get people to come here. And if it takes Coach Whittingham having to take his shirt off and arm wrestle every pundit, I'm going to have to go ahead and be for it. So that's my current, like, whatever. God, it sucks to get your ass beat at home like that. Hasn't happened in 18 straight games since like 2011. Has it not been that fucking embarrassing? That fucking hurt, Lou. Fucking hurt.
All right, buddy. Hang in there, man. Long live Utah. What do you want again now?
I wanted to try to Utah, man, but he's gone. I want to tell him that his fucking team sucks. That
But they
he
beat
got
you,
thumped
man.
by
They
Oregon.
beat you.
They got thumped by Oregon. They're a trash. They're a trash program. They're a property program. Give away Dodge rounds to the people that don't need to be playing football. They're not relevant. They're trash. They're playing a trash conference. That's what I get. That's what I get.
But
Exactly
they
what
beat
y'all
you,
get.
though.
They beat us, but we beat them last year. They trash. They is hot. Listen, Utah is hot garbage. Utah is hot garbage. I try to tell y'all all season long, Utah's gonna lose. Utah's gonna lose again this weekend. I bet any dollar that Utah lose again this weekend.
I don't think
Oregon
Utah's
beat them
some great
twice.
team, but, I mean, they're ranked 18th, aren't they? 17th, 18th? Where's Florida ranked?
Hey, we'll get up there. As soon as we beat, when we upset Missouri.
No. You'll be
When
up
we
there.
beat Missouri.
You'll be up there as soon as
When we
Clemson
beat
is.
Missouri.
Yeah. You'll be ranked as soon as Clemson is. What are you talking about? You need to
I'm
cut this
serious.
shit out. This is another 280 yards rushing road you're riding down right now.
No,
Come on, man. What
because-
are we doing?
listen,
Octavian,
Georgia's gonna beat you.
man,
Georgia's gonna beat Mizzou 2 times in a
Listen
row.
to me,
You know
man.
that.
Listen. Keep Utah name out your mouth. Here's who you talk about. Arkansas, LSU, Florida State. That's who Missouri. Talk about those 4 teams. You still got to play them.
I think we beat LSU, and I can, and honestly, that's the best. That's the best one of the bunch. I cannot wait to play LSU.
Yeah.
We beat them in Death Valley, and we beat Florida State, and I will be 7-5, or something like that, or whatever the case. We be 7-5 and be 8-5 after the end of the season. And if Billy Napier don't get his shit together, we getting Dan Lannon. And I'm throwing. And listen, I wrote a personal letter to Dan Lannon. I wrote a personal letter to Dan Lannon Saturday. It should be in Eugene, Oregon by Wednesday, and I hope he writes back. I need him in Gainesville. I need him. I'm tired of going to Jacksonville and getting disappointed and getting my heart broken every season. I'm tired of it. The people in Knoxville, I'm not worried about the people in Knoxville. They lose to us almost every year. I'm not worried about the people. I'm not worried about the Rock Pile because all they do is just get one lucky season and then they'll be out of it. South Carolina is trash. One team we really worried about is Georgia. And the Kentucky, man, listen, Kentucky.
You wasn't worried about
your
Georgia
high
last
horse.
week.
Get off your high horse. Get off your high horse, Kentucky, because you're trash and you're a basketball school. You're a basketball school.
So y'all got blown out by a basketball school.
Yeah, we got blown out by a basketball school this year. I'll admit that. But guess what? We're gonna beat them next year. We're gonna beat the sleeves off of them. We're gonna beat the absolute soul out of Kentucky next year. Beat them like they stole something.
Octavian, I love you.
We
Buddy. I love you, buddy. I have a good one, man. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, sir. How are you and all that good stuff, sir? Let's
up,
get some
buddy?
top 10 programs on this program here, sir.
Yeah. What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Good. Sorry my Ducks made you look stupid a couple weeks ago. I meant to get on here before and eat my crow. So props to Washington. Props to Washington. Y'all got us. But I like that a lot of pundits are already saying that we played the better game. If we kick those 2 field goals, it's over. But, ifs is, you don't live in a world of ifs. You live in a world of execution. So I'm excited. I hope Washington does their job and beats USC and comes and plays us in Vegas. I hope they do their job, puppies.
Yeah.
I hope they do their job. So
I'm with you. The minute that game ended, I didn't change my. I thought Oregon was better before the game. I thought Oregon was better immediately after the game, and I still think Oregon is better than Washington.
Oh, Oregon is clearly better. You know, they just made one extra play than us, and we're 3 yards away from beating them. But then again, Georgia was at one point, you know, real close to beating Bama, and then Tua threw the ball over the head. So, you know,
let me ask you this:
like
what do you think's going on with Washington in the last couple of weeks? Do you think it's just like a midseason lull?
No.
I mean, that happens with a lot of teams where, you know, they're really good and they kind of go. Georgia did that last year a couple of weeks too. Or do you think there's like an issue there?
Penix is hurt. He's got a rib injury.
Uh-oh.
We beat him up. He was grimacing at the end of our game.
Oh no.
And he's been grimacing ever since. And they're playing him hurt. That's what I am hearing out of the rumor mill. So,
well, at least they're
Penix
playing Southern Cal this week, so they don't have to worry about getting hit.
Well, Bear Alexander gets him good one time. You might not be seeing him on the field no more. So they're going to have to hope that their offensive line holds up. But I'm just excited. We got Cal this week, so we got a nice little break from. I want to talk to that Utah guy. I wish that Utah guy would have stuck around a little bit longer. I would have jumped on here with y'all and, you know, talked about how we broke that streak on them. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was a nice little walk in the park for us, you know, up there. Got to go see the Tetons and all that stuff up there. You know,
that reminded me of y'all's game against Colorado almost. Like it felt that could have been 70-6. Like y'all just really took it easy there in the second half.
I wish it would have been. I wish we would have scored in the fourth quarter. That would have been nice, but you know, 35-6 ain't bad. But I wish we would have put one more on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
it is what it is, though. I get Dan, you know, trying to pull it back a little bit, rested Bo, but you know, we'll have to see what we do against Cal. They gave USC all they could handle. I like the call there to go for 2 because what the heck? Like, what do you have to lose, your Cal? So I like the call there. But
what do you
USC
think about
scare me.
what do you think about Bo Nix's Heisman chances and do you care? Now I know, given a choice, you'd take a playoff run over a Heisman award if you could only get one or the other. But like, do you think where do you think he'll come down at the end on that?
It's going to come down to what Jaden Daniels does at LSU the rest of the way, and it's going to come down to Las Vegas. The winner, if Jaden Daniels loses to Bama, I think he's out, or Jalen Daniels, I should say, loses to Bama, he's out. You can't keep losing and get a Heisman. I'm sorry, it just is a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But if he happens to beat Bama and takes his team to an SEC title game and makes it close-ish against Georgia, I don't think he will, but you know, crazier things have happened. Then it's probably his to lose. Yeah. But if Bama beats him and they go to Atlanta and y'all beat them,
well, most of the voting will be before the conference championship game. I don't know why they do that. It's so stupid. They shouldn't let them vote until after, but they start voting the Monday after that last weekend of the season.
Right. So I'm saying if LSU does not make the conference title game, then to me he's out. So it's going to come down to Las Vegas, and that, in my opinion, it's going to come down to Nix versus Penix round 2, and the winner of that game is more than likely your Heisman Trophy winner, unless Marvin Harrison Jr. just absolutely goes berserk, or unless who's another one that's up there? J.J. McCarthy goes absolutely berserk against Ohio State or in their conference title game. But in my opinion, the Heisman Trophy will reside in the Pac-12. Yeah. Will that be Penix? Will that be Nix? We'll find out come Las Vegas.
You think Marvin Harrison will at least get an invite to New York?
Oh, I think. Unless he gets hurt.
Yeah,
unless he gets hurt, or they drop. Unless they drop a game other than Michigan.
Yeah,
like
I don't think he'll win it.
Sneaks up.
I don't think he'll win it, but I think he'll get enough like second and third place votes to where I think he'll get an invite for sure. Yeah.
Yes, and I would love to play Ohio State. I want that offense.
Yeah,
that offense doesn't scare me. Yeah. I would love for Ohio State to pull a crazy thing and beat Michigan, go number 1, sneak in at number 4, go play Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, and come, Oregon, Georgia in the national championship game would be great to me.
Yeah.
There in Houston, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it playing out right now. Personally, if you want my picks right, like who's going to finish, I think it's going to be Georgia 1. I disagree with you. I think if you drop a game, that's a big red flag. You should not drop a game the rest of the way. Number 2 is going to probably be Michigan. I think they beat Ohio State. Number 3, Oregon, 12-1, Pac-12 champs. And number 4, take your pick. Florida State, if they win out, they're in. but the ACC is so weak they cannot afford to drop a game. And then if they do, it's going to be the winner of Oklahoma, Texas, if they survive. I have both those teams losing this week, though, to Oklahoma State, K-State.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers not impressive against BYU, Kansas State, hottest team in the country. I know it's on the road, but Quinn Ewers uptick in competition this week could spell disaster for Texas.
He's hurt.
Or not Quinn Ewers. I'm Malik Murphy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Malik Murphy was a disappointment last week to me. I thought he would be ready to go. I really liked him. I know he's only played in second halves and spring games and shit, but man, he always looked so good. But he wasn't ready for Saturday.
I was excited to see what he would do because he's one target that we're looking at to bring after Bo leaves.
Yeah.
Him and the kid at Kansas are both guys that Oregon's fans are like, yes, please, to come in because. Say what you want about Ty Thompson. He's our backup. He's been there 5 years, and he just has never really panned out. He doesn't have it between the ears. He has every physical attribute you want out of your quarterback. He's 6'5", 220, has a cannon. But when you get him between those hash marks, it goes away.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Well, you better win a natty. You better win a natty this year or next year because I don't know if you heard, but Florida man called in and said Dan Lanning will be the head coach at Florida in 2025.
That was gonna be my next topic. Thank you for reminding me, sir. The day Dan Lanning leaves Oregon football for Florida football is the day pigs fly and I'm 6'3". And if you know in my personal, I will never be 6'3" in my entire life. So that's just not happening. If Dan Lanning leaves, it's gonna be for a job much greater than he's not replacing Billy Napier. Florida's going to have to get, maybe win a conference championship before Dan even thinks about reading that letter. I hope Dan frames that letter and just laughs with him and his family when that letter comes. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But Dan, I hear Bama wants Dan. I hear Georgia might want Dan. I don't know how long Kirby's got, but I'm glad we're going to restructure. I fully anticipate Dan Lanning getting a big raise this coming off season and a big buyout raise as well. If he's not close to $9 to $10 million a year by the end of or by the start of next season, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
And also an increase in assistant pool. I fully anticipate that happening with the way he's recruiting top 6 class right now with some pieces to come. Could finish top 5. Oregon's not going anywhere for a long time. Sorry to say it, college football. Oregon's not going away for a long time. I know you guys don't respect us because we haven't won a natty, but we're not going anywhere. With the money coming from the Big Ten and with the Big Ten, what it is besides Ohio State, Michigan, I mean, Penn State doesn't scare me. Honestly, Ohio State, Michigan don't scare me. Oregon's here to stay. Oregon's here for a long, long time. Sorry to say.
All right, David. Thanks for the call,
All
buddy.
right. You too, sir.
Yep, good luck the rest of the way. There you go, everybody. Oregon, man. I've only been halfway paying attention to the comments, but is this Elliott person in the comments saying that Ohio State is making the playoffs even if they lose to Michigan no matter what else happens? Is that like he's saying because Ohio State is ranked number 1 today that no matter what, even if they lose to Michigan, they're getting in the playoffs? Is that what he's saying? Because that's just clearly not true. Now, of course, they could get into the playoffs with a loss to Michigan. They did last year, but they wouldn't get in over any one-loss conference champion. There would have to be multiple two-loss conference champions like we had last year. There would have to be multiple two-loss conference champions. Any undefeated or one-loss conference champion would get in over Ohio State if they were 11-1. That's just a fact. And if you don't know that, then you just woke up yesterday or you just started watching football yesterday. But, so you think Ohio State at 11-1 would get in over Oregon at 12-1 with a Pac-12 title? No, wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. You wouldn't get in over a 12-1 Texas with a Big 12 title. You wouldn't get in over a 12-1 Oklahoma with a Big 12 title. You wouldn't get in over a 12-1 Georgia with an SEC title. You wouldn't get in over a 12-1 Alabama with an SEC title. You wouldn't get in over any one-loss conference champion. You would have to have exactly what happened last year, which is multiple two-loss conference. You had a two-loss conference champion in the ACC, and you had a two-loss conference champion in the Pac-12 last year. That's why Ohio State got in. And if that happens again, then the loser of Ohio State, Michigan, will probably get in again. But you will have to have multiple two-loss conference champions in order for that to happen. An 11-1 Ohio State or an 11-1 Michigan will not get in over any undefeated or one-loss conference champion, no matter how mad it makes you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, folks. Good morning.
I don't know. When you leave the karaoke bar, call us back. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, Lou. Is my internet connection a little bit better now?
Yeah, sounds good right now.
Okay, good. But I'm glad that I was able to sit back and listen to the Oregon man. But only thing I'm saying is, if talking about the Penix injury, if that would have been Alabama man, hell, that would have been excuse for losing right there. I'm sorry. I mean, somebody has an injury, that's already an excuse to lose right there, isn't it? Penix being injured?
Is that an excuse to lose?
No, I'm saying that's what Alabama always said. Well, if we didn't have this injury and we didn't have that injury, I'm just using that for example.
Yeah, Alabama and Ohio State can't win with an injured player, according to them.
Exactly.
Yeah, according to them.
Exactly. So, but Oregon's a hell of a team. I'm a UGA fan. I am worried about the Michigan game just because they had our number last year and they are playing better this year than they did last year. What are your thoughts on that?
On who?
On Michigan.
What, do I think they're good?
They had our number almost last year, and they're playing a hell of a lot better this year than they were last year when they almost had our number last year. What are your thoughts?
I thought you said you were a Georgia fan.
I am a Georgia fan.
We didn't play Michigan
I'm saying
last
I'm
year.
worried.
We didn't. What do you mean they almost had our number last year? We didn't play them last year.
Missouri, yes, we did. We almost lost to Missouri last year. We lost. We won that last one.
Thank you for the call. For whatever reason, it's not your fault. It's mine. I can't follow anything you're saying. No, we're not losing to Missouri. If that's what the question was. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
All right, Uncle Lou, can you hear me now? Sorry about that. No, I was just coming back talking about Georgia.
Thank you. Saban's ball spot. Yeah, he did say Michigan. Yeah, he spent 5 minutes talking about Michigan, and then when I answered the question, he said no, not Michigan, Missouri. So
I heard that. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about there.
What I was saying, you said that you think we could drop a game. I think if we play our cards right, I think we can win out, but we have to be strategic about how we do it. I think Missouri might be a close game, even though it's at home. I still think we can beat them. I think we can beat Ole Miss. But I think everybody's saying Neyland is a tough stadium to play in. It is, because they always want to take our players out. For instance, I think Todd Gurley got hurt there. Nick Chubbs got hurt there. Multiple players got hurt there that are Georgia players when we played them. But I don't think that stops us, because the way we have Kirby Smart, it's just like the mentality is like next man up. So it's like, I think we could beat Tennessee. I really think we can. It's just they have home field advantage, and that's the only difference. But I still think we can beat them.
Yeah, I think they're the worst. They're the worst of the three. Well, Georgia Tech's the worst team left on our schedule. They're horrible. But of the next three games, Tennessee is the worst of the three, but it's the only road game. Yeah.
If Kentucky, and I know that they weren't at home, but I know if Kentucky can throw the ball like they did at Tennessee, then why can't Georgia do the same thing, if not better?
That game was at Kentucky, but
yeah, that's what I said. I know it was at. That's what I said. I know it's at Kentucky, but if Kentucky can throw the ball like they did against Tennessee like that, then why can't we do the same, if not better?
Well, we can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we can do that. We can throw the ball over their head. They're going to try and stop the run.
You don't have to convince anybody that Georgia's a better team than Tennessee. I mean, everybody knows that. The only issue is that the game is in Tennessee. That's it. That's the only advantage Tennessee has. That's all. That's it.
And again, they've always tried to hurt our players, like Nick Chubbs. I think Todd Gurley.
They've never tried to hurt our players. So it's not. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember the Nick Chubb injury at Tennessee?
Yeah, I remember the Nick Chubb injury at Tennessee.
I don't know if they try to hurt us intentionally, but
No,
it's just.
well,
it's
I
like
do know they didn't.
It's just. I'm not gonna say they did. I'll just say it this way. It's like some way, always, somehow, when we play them at Tennessee, we always get hurt there. I'll say it like that. You there, Uncle Lou? Sorry, Uncle Lou. What's up? You went away. I stopped for a second because you went away. Okay, you there, Uncle Lou?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I didn't know something. If I pissed you off, I didn't know. But I was just. I think. I mean, I know we beat them before at Tennessee. What was it? 2 years ago? Was it?
Yes, we have beat Tennessee at Tennessee before.
Yeah, we beat them. I think it was I think it was 2021 with Stetson Bennett and everybody. And I mean, I know we could do the same thing at Tennessee. I don't know if it'll be a blowout, but I know we can beat them.
I agree.
But what I do think will be a challenge is whoever we play in the maybe might be a challenge is who we play in the if we get to the SEC championship might be a challenge because it's either going to be LSU or Alabama. I'm not concerned about Alabama because they're a second half team. We're a first and second half team. We play all quarters. Bama can only play one quarter. And if we put the foot on the gas and start out hot in the first half and do it all the way in the second, we'll annihilate them.
Yeah, Bama would not beat Georgia. LSU would have
No.
a chance.
Yeah, LSU would be more of a challenge, but we could take them out because their secondary is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's one of their weaknesses. But
I don't know who's better between Bama and LSU, but I do think LSU matches up better against Georgia than Bama does. Football is about matchups. I think LSU could potentially give Georgia more problems than Bama could. I don't know who wins this weekend between LSU and Bama, but we'll see. Hey, thank you for the call. It was good to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Lewis.
Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. How you doing?
Doing good.
It's a Michigan fan calling. First and foremost, just want to say I mostly agree with your takes on Michigan, aside from the fact that obviously as a fan, I do hope we make it to the postseason. I'm a bit biased, though. Overall, I got to say everything falls on Harbaugh. This Connor Stallions guy is an absolute clown. I don't know if you've seen this, but apparently there's a 600-page manifesto he's been updating constantly. This guy's a lunatic. He's not just a fanatic. He's like an extremist. He's like a jihadist, man. He's nuts.
Yeah.
But it's so toxic for the program. I can't believe that Harbaugh or whoever hired him should be fired, and Harbaugh takes all the blame. Whatever happens with the NCAA happens. My take that I want to make right now has nothing to do with all that because I think it's pretty obvious that we fucked up and cheated. The bottom line is I have some problems with some of the reactions I've been seeing from some of the Michigan fans in particular. I understand the reactions from opposing teams fans, rival fans, coming out and saying that all of our wins are null and void, whatever. I understand the media hyping it up because it's a story that can be played over and over again between Saturdays when no one's paying attention to football. What I don't get are these Michigan fans that come out here, I don't know if you've seen this at all, but are writing full, length, almost essays online saying that they were feeling ashamed, that they couldn't imagine that their team could do this. I'm just like, come on. How can you be so naive? I hope these people are actually, just children because I don't know. I think it's just, kind of pitiful to see these people coming out and writing, woe is me essays. I don't know if you've seen this at all, Uncle Lou, but it just makes me a bit upset.
No, most of the most of the Michigan response I've seen has been people quoting some rule from the NCAA playbook and then saying, "See, we didn't technically break that rule," or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I think we definitely broke the rule. I just think that I understand that reaction because they're homers and they like Disney dogs, as you like to put it, right? Like
Yeah.
people that just don't want to accept reality. I'm not one of those people. I just, but I don't like, I don't know. Regardless, Connor Stallions is a clown, and it's unfortunate because one of the reasons I love college football, I'm sure the same as you. I just love like seeing great players on the field, and
Yeah.
Michigan has a great team this year. And it's unfortunate. I don't blame the players at all for this. I don't think they were in the know necessarily, and even if they were, it's not on them; it's on management. So
Yeah,
that's my take.
I think what will happen. Let's say Michigan goes on. Let's say there's no punishment. Michigan goes on. They win the national title. Well, you're not going to get any respect or credit from any other fan base across the country. You're just not.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, you're gonna catch shit about it. But like, if I were to ask you right now who won the 2010 national championship, you'd probably just say Auburn, and that would be the extent of your answer. Well,
same thing with USC.
The
right?
whole second half of the season in 2010, everybody was running around going, Auburn cheated, Auburn bought Cam Newton, Auburn should be kicked out of the postseason. That was a big mess. And everybody gave Auburn shit about it for 2 or 3 years. But now if you ask anybody who won the 2010 national championship, they just say Auburn and they move on. Like, they don't say Auburn, but Cam Newton cheated and this and blah, blah, blah. And it'll be the same thing with Michigan. At some point down the road, people will just look back and go, Michigan won the Natty in 2023. But for a couple of years, no other fan base is really going to take it seriously if Michigan wins. They're going to clown y'all online, and they're going to they're going to make a bunch of posts with an asterisk next to your name. I mean, that's just what they'll do. But
no, I got a buddy who's
fans
a
tend to
Purdue
do that
fan
anyway. I mean,
also.
Fans have been telling me for 2 years that neither one of Georgia's two national titles count because some team somewhere had an injured player or something. So, that's what they'll do. But eventually, all that'll fade away, and it'll just be Michigan 2023 national champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last thing before I go. No, I got a friend who's a Purdue fan, right? Went to the school.
Oh man.
And we beat them in the 2022 Big Ten title game. Relevant game, but we already have a bet going that on my side, if I lose, I have to put an asterisk next to my little hat that says 2022 national champ or Big Ten title champions. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely here for it. I'm not gonna be one of those fans that's like just denying the allegations. I don't really care if other opposing fans are, shitting all over the team, because I would do the same if I was, if OSU did this, I would be saying the same shit, right? So
yeah, that's something I've been saying to some Michigan fans too. You remember the whole tattoo thing at Ohio State?
Yeah.
Michigan fans had a lot of fun with that at Ohio State fans' expense. And so with Michigan and Ohio State being such bitter rivals, every Michigan fan on earth is just going to have to sit back and take it from Ohio State fans for the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
Because they're obviously just not, they're not going to let it go. And that's just that's part of what makes college football so great, is like the bitter rivalries and how we'll find any little thing we can to needle the opposing team or the opposing fan base. So This is one of those things where Michigan fans are going to have to just kind of take this on the chin as far as the trash talk on the internet goes for a couple of years.
Just how Ohio State fans are going to have to take it on the chin when we beat the shit out of them.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. Yeah, thanks for the call. Yeah, that guy makes sense there. That guy makes sense to me. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Let's see if you can make any sense.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Pretty good. Do you think Georgia wins out, or do you think they drop a game in the next?
It still feels like 11-1 to me. I don't know which game it'll be. They're going to be 2 touchdown favorites in the next 3 games, and a 4 touchdown favorite in the last game. But I still feel like they might drop a game somewhere.
Maybe I guessed. Well, I would say, maybe Ole Miss, but that's the only one I can see. I don't see us losing to Missouri this weekend, honestly.
Yeah, I
understand they got, they have a quarterback that's red hot. They have one of the best receivers in the nation, but the secondary is just too good, in my opinion, just for us to let Luther Burton.
Well, the pass rush too. I mean, the best pass coverage sometimes is a pass rush. And Georgia showed last week that they can turn it on when they want to. They haven't been great over the course of this season when it comes to sacking the quarterback, but they sure turned it on in the first half against Florida. So, and if you remember, it was the same way last year. Georgia wasn't a great team when it came to getting the quarterback last year, and then the Tennessee game came around, and Hendon Hooker was on his back, literally like a Hendon Ho, for the entire game. I mean, it just made life miserable for him. And I think that's probably going to be part of the plan Saturday for Mizzou, is to make Brady Cook as uncomfortable as possible.
I mean, not necessarily sack him, but just, like you said, put pressure on him.
They can get rid of the ball quick. I mean, I'd rather Luther Burton catch an 8-yard pass than a 40 or 50-yard pass. And you can't throw a 40 or 50-yard pass in 2 seconds.
Do you think this is the game where Dominic Lovett breaks out and has over 100 yards just because it's Missouri?
Yeah, they last week they talked about Carson Beck and sort of some external motivation with him going back and playing in his hometown of Jacksonville. I think for Dominic Lovett, this game has some of that same thing to it, playing against the team he was with before. And I don't have any reason to think he doesn't like Missouri or anything. I don't think he left there because he had a problem or with them or whatever. And he's probably got a lot of friends on the team, but I think it's just human nature. Look, if we play Alabama, you don't think Jermaine Burton wants to have a big game? If we play Texas, you don't think A.D. Mitchell wants to have a big game? Of course they do. I think that might be a factor.
Yeah. Well, Vlad McConkey, him being fully back healthy is big.
Yeah, that's nice to have him.
Do you think he'd get at least 10 targets this game, or do you think?
I don't know. I don't know about the number of targets. There's just a lot depends on that. But, he's our best option at wide receiver, I think. He's the most talented guy.
Do you think LSU is going to cause a lot of problems for Alabama's defense with that offense?
I think that's going to be a good matchup. LSU's offense against the Bama defense, I think, will be a good matchup. I'm worried about Jaden Daniels in this game. He takes a lot of unnecessary hits. And, I'm worried about that in this game. But so I think that'll be a good matchup. LSU's offense, which is really, really good, against Bama's defense, which is really, really good. The other interesting matchup is Alabama's offense, which is terrible, against LSU's defense, which is terrible. So good matchups on both sides.
Well, I'm picking over for Malik Neighbors to at least have over 100 yards receiving.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on, Austin. Good to hear from you, buddy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, I was going to get your thought. I've been busy, obviously, today with the family. But
obviously.
I seen the article. Yeah, I seen the article, and I haven't had a chance to read it, and I was hoping maybe you did, about the ACC expansion plan, and I wanted to know if they still are including FSU.
Yes.
I just want to make sure and let every FSU fan know that the ACC is still planning to keep them around.
Yep.
Not letting them join the SEC.
Yeah, they're still doing that. Hey, I'm going to let you go. It sounds like you're hanging your head out the window. No, but I appreciate you coming on. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou.
Hey, what's
I'm
up, buddy?
a Vol fan, and I just want to put all the Georgia fans at ease. All you got to do is watch the second half of the Bama game, and that's what's going to happen when Georgia plays Tennessee. So y'all don't really have much to worry about.
Okay.
But I do have a question for you. So being a Vol fan, we're not really used to a stable program, and we seem to have a decent one going right now. So I'm looking at the SEC East, and I see Missouri, I see South Carolina, and Florida, and Tennessee. And I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on where are those programs going to be in 2 years? Do you think that there's going to be, still maybe Tennessee and Florida kind of towards the top, and
well, there
Missouri?
is no more East. That's the thing. So you got to the whole idea that we've always had, or at least for 20 years, about trying to figure out, okay, who's the best in the East, who's the best in the West. All that's out the window next year. The goal really, starting next year, is to lose less than 3 games. I mean, would it be nice to make the SEC title game? Yeah. But with a 12-team playoff, the goal is going to be to go 10-2 or 9-3, and then try to get into the 12-team playoff. I mean, that's really what it's going to be about. starting next year, more so than trying to figure out where you slot into a division or something, because the divisions are going away. Now, Florida, I think they're headed in the wrong direction. I think no matter what happens
Yeah,
with the
I agree.
divisions or whatever is going away, I think you're in a better spot right now than Florida is. I think you're in a better spot than South Carolina is. Missouri's interesting. One good year.
Yep.
Well, Tennessee had one good year last year. Now look at them this year.
Yep.
They're good again. So can Missouri do that? We'll see. I don't know. Missouri's been a 6-win team for 4 or 5 years straight, and now this year they're pretty good. Kentucky is what Kentucky is. They're going to be an 8-win. That's their ceiling. They're an 8-win team. That's not changing. So it's not going to become easier to win the SEC next year. It's going to become harder. You're adding Texas and Oklahoma to the mix. There's no divisions. It's just the 2 best teams, and But
I agree.
with the playoffs expanding, you don't have to win the SEC to get into the playoffs. Now you got to win the SEC to get that first round bye, but you're going to have 3 or 4 teams a year from the SEC getting into the playoffs starting next year. So most likely, if you go 10-2, you're going to get in 9-3. That's kind of going to be the cutoff point, I think. Like last year, for example, Tennessee didn't win their division, didn't win their conference. They would have been in the playoffs last year at 10-2.
Yeah.
This year,
No, I agree.
Let's say Tennessee loses to Georgia this year. That's going to put them 9-3. Probably not getting into a 12-team playoff this year at 9-3, given the way everything else is set up around the country. But there may be some years where 9-3 would get you in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Do you think, and I'll let you go with this, what about the West? I know we're agreeing that, it's not going to be there in 2 years, but if you look at Mississippi State and Auburn and Arkansas, I mean, don't you put Auburn's program ahead of the other two?
Yes.
In 2 years?
Yes. I think Auburn just has some inherent advantages that those 2 programs don't have. So something big has to happen for either of those other 2 schools to ascend above Auburn in any given year. Auburn's got to have a terrible coach. The other teams have to have a better than normal season, that kind of thing. In an average year, I would take Auburn over either of those 2 teams.
All right, cool. You got any thoughts on Jimbo lasting in 2 years?
I think he's gone after this year.
Okay. All right. Well, that was it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking my call.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on. Yeah. If he's not fired this year, then all the Texas A&M people were wrong about all that money they have in the desert. Because if Jimbo Fisher is still the coach at Texas A&M next year, then the only reason is because they can't afford to buy out. Because there's no other reason to keep him. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Luke.
Hey man, it's Hunter here.
What's up?
I was just wondering, your thoughts on the Big Ten West. What do you see happening there? Like,
Well, it's garbage.
Iowa,
There's not a single team in the Big Ten West that's averaging over 25 points per game. The Big Ten West is a disaster and a cesspool. It's not even a Group of 5 division. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm a Wisconsin fan. It's been brutal for us this year. I'll tell you what, we had a lot of injuries, backup quarterback, everything like that. But just kind of your thoughts and maybe who wins that West.
I'd give the edge to Iowa because they beat Wisconsin, but I think it's still possible for Wisconsin or 1 or 2 other teams to get in. But it looks like probably Iowa right now.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Last question I got for you is this weekend, big game, Alabama LSU. It's gonna determine a lot in the SEC West. Who do you got?
I picked LSU in the preseason. I'm gonna stick with that. I think LSU goes in there and wins.
All right, that's all I got. Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Yeah, appreciate you coming on. I think it'll be a good game. I think a lot of people think it'll be a good game. Bama's only favored by 3 or 3.5. So a lot of people are expecting that to be a close game. But I'm gonna, since it's just a hard game to pick, so I'm gonna stick with my preseason prediction on that one and go with LSU. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's up, buddy?
Good. Yeah. Michigan fan here, and just wanted to touch on the whole thing that happened. It's obviously for a Michigan fan. It's
When you say the whole
disappointing.
thing, you mean the cheating?
Yes, that cheating, all that. It's disappointing at
It's okay to
with all
say it.
that
You
mi-
can say it. The cheating. You don't have to call
Yeah.
it the thing.
Well, I
It's
mean,
the cheating that y'all did.
has it been confirmed? Is all I'm asking. I don't know if it's been
I'm
confirmed.
confirming it right now. Michigan cheated.
Okay, well, great. Anyway, what I wanted to say though is the thing of it is don't discount the players for the people that are blowing up. Saying Michigan sucks and this and that. That's the athletic department and the coaches.
I don't think
that were
anybody
involved
said
in
Michigan
that.
sucks. I think they're one of the best teams in the country.
Well, no, but there's people that are, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
And it's like,
Well,
you know,
people think
I
Michigan
get that-
sucks. They just don't understand football. Michigan's one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah. So, you know, they're still going to have to face the consequences, the players and all. You know, whatever happens, I mean, this is going to suck because after what happened with Rich Rod and the Brady Hoke years, I mean, Michigan doesn't need another downturn, and it's going to probably be a while before they can get things together. But, yeah, you know, anyways, that's all. I just wanted to mention that and say, you know, it sucks what they did, and just the fact that, you know, there's also people taking the stance. Well, you know, if other teams are doing it, you know, whether they are
Well,
or
then show
not,
me.
they haven't been caught.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
still,
Show me.
They
Yeah.
would still face the same ridicule
Right.
if they were caught.
Right.
So, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's
Well,
all,
this
man.
is yeah. Thank you for the call. It's the same thing when a team gets caught, like when Tennessee they get caught buying players a couple of years ago, right? Putting the money in the McDonald's bags and all that. What does the Tennessee fan run around saying? Everybody does it. Everybody does it. So it's the we're stupid defense is what they go for. You know, everybody does it. We're just fucking bad at it and got caught. That's their defense. The everybody does it defense is not a defense at all. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's going on, Uncle Lou?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Nothing really. Oh, sorry. I was getting away from the baseball game. Nothing. I was just thinking about LSU and Alabama because that guy did say that's going to be a good game. I think it is too. There's a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes in LSU's secondary. There's a lot of weaknesses on Alabama's O-line.
Yeah.
And Jalen Mildew can only throw one way, and that's deep. He can't make intermediate passes.
Facts.
That's just me. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. LSU's defense is terrible overall. The secondary in particular, though. And I do think LSU's front seven will play well against Alabama because that offensive line is not very good for Bama.
I do.
You know, you got
I
Harold
agree.
Perkins and Mason Smith and those guys. There are some playmakers in the front seven for LSU that I think will be able to take advantage of Alabama's offensive line. But I do think Mildew is going to hit a couple of big balls against that LSU secondary because it is that bad. I mean, it is really it's the worst LSU secondary. I don't remember an LSU secondary worse than this. They usually have elite secondaries. It's gone
bad.
downhill fast. It's really, really bad, their secondary. And, you know, that plays into the hands of the one thing Mildew does well, which is close his eyes and throw the ball 50 yards downfield. And I think Alabama will hit a few of those. Yeah. The game, to me, is going to be won or lost with Jaden Daniels and how he does against the Alabama defense, which is not terrible. You know, LSU's offense has been lighting up everybody they've played. And recently in college football, we have seen really good offenses score on really good defenses. Whether you're talking about Bama scoring on Georgia, Ohio State scoring on Georgia, we've seen that elite offenses sometimes have an advantage over elite defenses. If LSU's offense is as good as the LSU man is running around telling us it is, then they'll score on Alabama's defense, even though Alabama's defense is really, really good. And if they do that, I think they can get in a track meet type situation with Alabama. And if that's the case, I would trust Jaden Daniels down the stretch more than I would trust Jalen Mildew.
I agree. Now, what I want to say is it's not just Jaden Daniels. It's the running back. They got sick. When I mean sick, he's just badass. And they got wide receivers, and Jaden Daniels got the legs and the arm.
Right.
Don't forget Alex.
Yeah, it's just he's a lot more of a dual threat to me than Mildew is. I mean, Mildew don't have the speed to me.
Well, Jaden Daniels is a true dual threat quarterback. Jaden Daniels is a true dual threat quarterback. Jalen Mildew is a zero threat quarterback. He can't run or throw. What happened to all this running Mildew was supposed to be? Mildew was supposed to have 1,000 yards rushing this year. Where's that at? All these Alabama fans that spent 8 months, where's that at? This guy,
They're hiding. They're in witness protection.
He's got more games with negative yards rushing than he does 100-yard rushing games. So what are we even talking about with Mildew? He's not a dual threat. He's a zero threat. Jaden Daniels is a legitimate dual threat quarterback. The guy's going to run for over 1,000 yards this year. And he's going to throw for over 4,000. That's the textbook definition of a dual threat quarterback.
Exactly. And those Bama fans, they're probably in WITSEC. You know what WITSEC is?
Witness protection?
Yeah, they're hiding. They're scared to say anything about it. That's the Bama fan. They're scared to say anything about it. But I'd say it like it is. Mildew was supposed to. Everybody thought he was supposed to have the arm and the leg, and that just wasn't the case. People could get him. He can get got. That's just what it is. He's nowhere capable of being a dual quarterback. He can only do one thing. He can barely run with his legs to get by. Then he got lucky with Tennessee because Tennessee is not like LSU's front seven. Its defense is a totally different defense. Yeah. Way better to me than Tennessee's defense.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Yeah, thank you for the call. Good to hear from you. Let's see. Let's get caught up on these super chats here. Patrick Newberry says, did you see the rumor about Michigan giving South Carolina signs to keep Tennessee from making it to the playoffs last year? Go Dogs. Yes, I did see that. Go Noles 45 says, Lou, we better score 70 on the trailer park. Who is that? Who does Florida State play? It's an ACC team, so I know it's not anybody good. Hold My Beer says, regular call-in show at 9, or are we just going on from here and ending early? Yeah, this is the call-in show. The Dogs have co-defensive coordinators. Why not have co-offensive coordinators? Hire Sam Pittman, says Julie C. Is he not? Well, he's technically still employed by Arkansas as head coach. Now, he might not be for much longer, but I mean, I'd love to have Sam Pittman back at UGA. Not as a head coach, but in some other capacity. Yeah, I think everybody likes Sam Pittman. It just turns out he might not be a great head coach. Yeah. All right. All right, nobody else is waiting to come on, so we're going to wrap it up for today. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the call-in show. I do this normally every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9 p.m. We do it from about 9 to 11. Did it a little early today because of the college football rankings show that came on at 7. I'm not sure if it comes on again next. I guess it comes on again next Tuesday, but it might not come on till 9. They changed the time up because of basketball games or something. But anyway, call-in show every Tuesday and Thursday night. So I'll be back Thursday night, this coming Thursday night at 9 to do it all over again. Streaming schedule for Saturday, I'll be live at 9 in the morning for the college kickoff show. Then we will be on Patreon at 3:30 for all the afternoon games and right here on YouTube for the primetime games. So come hang out on Saturday and watch some college football with us. We always have a really good time. All right, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and have a good morning.